A man online who claimed to be a Muslim was assaulting me and some Muslim friends. He was behaving in a very cruel and rude and nasty way. I labeled him, I called him a minnow, Muslim in name only. It was an insult because I had been told that Muslims behave a certain way. I didn't think he was behaving in a kind, friendly way. He was behaving in a cruel manner. That doesn't mean it's fair for me to judge him and to label him. How do I know his relationship with God? I'm in no place to call anybody of any faith or anybody with lack of faith any name. When someone steals something, do we call him a thief or somebody who stole? All of our cultures have a lot of labeling. Someone's committed 3 crimes, he's a felon. You introduce him, this is a felon. He's not a man who committed 3 crimes, he's a felon, we label him. So I labeled this man as a minnow, as a Muslim in name only. And I don't know what his relationship is with God. I don't know how good of a Muslim he is. It's none of my business. What I do know is I didn't like the way he treated me. And I should stick to the facts. I didn't like the way he treated me. That's what I should have said. I shouldn't have made the judgment. I shouldn't have judged him. Judging people, we judge people all the time, and it's a bad idea. That's how racism and profiling starts. Just like someone hating all Muslims because of 9/11. It's profiling, it's judgment, it's prejudice, it's labeling, it's bad, it's dangerous. In Tanzania, people are killing off relatives. They're hunting down women and killing them in their family. They're declaring them witches and killing them. There was a guy in NPR tonight. He was saying that these killings actually serve the families really well, and he explained why. He said there's not enough food to go around. People are too poor. All of a sudden they start looking around. Are we going to try to share the food around and have maybe everybody die? Or do we kill off our least productive relatives? Who's the least productive? The old woman in the house. So you declare her a witch and then you hunt her down and kill her, your own family. It sounds crazy and it's wrong, but by declaring her a witch, you can justify killing her and you can sleep at night. Otherwise you couldn't kill your beloved grandmother. You declare her a witch, you hunt her down and kill her, and you can sleep at night knowing you killed a witch. How do they put an end to this crazy behavior? Create more jobs and give the people more food. They don't get on the verge of starving to death, and then they don't declare their relatives witches and hunt them down and kill them. It's really backward, crazy behavior, but we were able to stop the behavior by simply giving them enough food to eat. It was based on a fallacy, but it served the people. It's really crazy. Here's another fallacy. A young boy was playing baseball. In a practice, someone threw the ball, and another boy hit the ball, and the ball hit the guy in the head, and the kid's in serious condition in the hospital. The parents went to the city council, and they're trying to get a law passed, and they did get it passed for 3 years, that there's a ban on metal bats. Now in the Little League, you can't use metal bats. But testing was done, and metal bats are actually not any more dangerous than wooden bats. And in many ways, wooden bats are more dangerous than metal bats because wooden bats can break in half and splinters can hurt people. Reality is, the kids need to wear better headgear. But the parents were so upset at the injury of their son, they went to the city council. And rather than the city council trying to dispute the fallacy with fact, they thought it was better to just give the family their victory. Even though the victory wasn't based in fact, the city council caved in out of deference to the family who has a tragedy and thought that the metal bats were to blame. We're willing to agree to fallacies if they work. The fallacy with the bats worked. You just change the law, make the family happy. The fallacy of declaring your grandmother a witch, it works. It saves the family from starving to death. It sounds crazy to us. Some fallacies in our lives work. One fallacy that has worked for a long time is judgment. Making labels, labeling people. Sometimes we have fallacies in our life, and sometimes the fallacies work for us. Most of these fallacies end up crumbling. It was a fallacy for me to call this man a name and to label him. But the fallacy lasted because no one challenged me on it. Then one of the viewers, one of our subscribers, challenged me on it, and I realized I was wrong. I had to stop the fallacy. The Tanzanians who were killing their grandmothers, mothers, calling them witches because they're starving. It's a fallacy. The mothers aren't witches. but it's working for them. But it will end because it's based on a fallacy. The baseball bat story, it's a fallacy. In time, the truth will come out. Here's some other fallacies. The United States has a war on terror, yet we're not willing to really recognize our responsibility for the terrorism that comes back at us, because it's a systemic situation and we have to recognize that we are behaving in a global arena. So we have a fallacy that there's just this war on terror. And it's not working well for us, but it is still working. A guy drinks alcohol and drives his car. He's under a fallacy. It's this fallacy that he's doing okay. And that fallacy works for him until one day he gets in an accident when he's drunk and he kills a family of 5. Then the fallacy hits reality, and it's a horrible scene. Sometimes reality breaks the fallacy. Sometimes the fallacy lives on for quite some time. Are there any fallacies that we cling to in our lives? Are we prepared to look at some of these? Some fallacies work. Some codependent relationships just work and the fallacy's just fine and you just move on with your life. One last thing. Someone advised me, and they're right, I should ask this, but it makes me feel like a dirty strumpet doing it. Would you please subscribe if you haven't already, and please comment on this video? I feel dirty asking. Is that my low self-esteem? I don't know. Anyway, I do want you to. I just didn't want to ask. Okay, thanks.
Flavor on America!